Nestled in the heart of Puebla, Mexico, lies a place where European charm meets Mexican history, a place of legends, elegance, and mystery. Welcome to the Chautla Hacienda. We are here in Puebla, Mexico, on the outskirts of the city, and we're going out to the countryside for this adventure. So come along on this adventure. We're going to go see a castle, and we're going to see an Italian village, and you're not going to believe that we're in Mexico, so you'll want to see it. Don't miss it. But what makes this place so special? Let's travel back in time. In the mid-19th century, Mexico was undergoing a transformation, politically, economically, and culturally. During this era, in 1877, a British immigrant named Thomas Gillow arrived in Puebla with a vision. To our first highway checkpoint, which is 51 pesos, which comes out to about like $3. He acquired vast tracts of land rich in natural beauty, lakes, and forest. This land would later become the Hacienda de San Antonio Chautla, or simply known as Chautla. But it wasn't until his son Eulogio Gillow that the hacienda would begin to make history. Eulogio wasn't just any landowner. He was a visionary and an innovator, and eventually the first archbishop of the Antigua, now Oaxaca. He brought with him not only wealth and influence, but technology. In 1903, Chautla became the first place in Latin America to have hydroelectric power. So this place was electric, which makes it a pioneering estate of its time. It was a little bit confusing at first to find the actual entrance to Chautla. It was a little bit interesting just looking at the walls. However, we did eventually find the parking lot and were able to find the ticket booth. Prices for entry was 45 pesos, which is about $2.41. Parking was 21 pesos, which is about 125 USD. There are a lot of other activities that you can pay to do at the park, but we were just there to see the castle. The hacienda today is run by the state of Puebla and is mostly a place to go camping and fish for stock trout. There are some cabins that you can rent, or you can do tent camping if you want to stay overnight. The site is littered with ruins of old hacienda buildings, which are slowly being restored, but it is tough because many of the walls were built out of adobe, which is a mud-like brick. We are inside the lake area. Behind me is one of the cabins that you can rent out here. In front of me is the castle and also the actual hacienda part of this area. So let me turn the camera around. The iconic red brick castle known as El Castillo Gillow. This building was built in 1898, and contrary to popular belief, it was never meant to be a castle or a residence. It was supposed to be the centerpiece for a new agricultural school, but it ended up being more for aesthetics and as a place for entertainment. That's a zip line. Lanchas is boats. The punto de cor means pay point, and then asadoras means barbecues. You can rent a barbecue there. The castle reflects English architectural influence, rare in Mexican countryside states. Today, it is the centerpiece of Chautla, often mistaken for a European fairy tale structure, surrounded by forests, a large artificial lake, and walking trails. Over the years, Chautla has transformed from a private estate to a public heritage site, now managed by the state of the government of Puebla. Not going in? I went in. Inside the castle today, there are some historical displays that talk about the Gillow family, and you can see some old furniture as well. Of course, there's a gift shop, but the most interesting thing to do is to go up the stairs into one of the towers. Okay. Walking up a bunch of stairs here. And it's pretty low, so you gotta watch your head. If you don't watch your head, watch your language.
I don't have a problem. I don't know if just watch your head, John.
Warning, the castle looks small on the outside, but there are a lot of stairs. This is at the first landing, and there were some pictures that showed you some of the restoration efforts that are going on at the hacienda. I really enjoyed looking at the Talavera tiled floor. But the best thing to do is to go out on the balcony and take a look at the lake. Ese es el fuente que hablabas. Should we go to the next level? For those who are even more adventurous, you can climb higher and go all the way to the top of the castle and get some amazing views from the top. On a clear day like the one that we had, you could see out to the Mexico Valley and got some great views of the volcanoes. But be careful. The stairs get smaller the higher you go. Use the railings at all times. As Chautla has transformed from a private estate to a public heritage site, the site has kind of turned into a fairy tale type place. It is a beautiful blend of history and also a place to have a quiet moment. This tree was struck by lightning and it made a hole in the tree that the locals say looked like the Virgin Mary. So now people come and pray at this tree. This little canal was once one of the feeder lines for the hydroelectric dam that gave electricity to Chautla in the early 1900s. Beyond its beauty, Chautla tells a story of migration, innovation, and the fusion of cultures that shaped modern Mexico. So next time you visit Puebla, don't miss the chance to step into history, to walk along the lake, to stand before the castle that once lit the way, literally and figuratively, for a changing nation. This is Chautla, a hidden jewel with a royal past. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a comment. Have you ever heard or visited Chautla before? I'd like to know. And we'll see you in the next video. Always stay curious.